What's good, locos? This is Angel from the Monsters in the Morning on Real Radio 1041, and you're listening to the voice of UCF, Marc Daniels, and the Beat of Sports on FM 96.9 The Game. You want real sports talk? You got it right here.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the Beat of Sports and the month of March. How about that? I'm Marc Daniels. Chris Vasquez is on the other side of the glass over there, what we call the control room.
Hello.
Chris has his Dallas Cowboy
nice little polo today.
Polo on today, huh?
No Fire Jerry, though.
Kind of clean shaved. And,
I got a haircut.
No hat. And
got a haircut this weekend.
If that doesn't make you want to jump to the stream to see what Chris looks like, I don't know what else can.
I know.
You have a nice weekend?
I did. A lot of work. Getting the house prepped for some demo stuff, but it was a good weekend.
All right.
Yeah. Excited.
You got like a permit outside? You put the paperwork up or anything? Or it's one of those, hey, we just don't talk about it, okay? What goes on inside the house, nobody's business outside the house.
There you go.
Yeah. Legal documents? I don't know about that. What's going on in there? Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Neighbors come by yet? You get the old, hey, what's going on?
Oh, by the way,
mind your business, Bob.
Actually, I do have a gripe with my neighbors.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know.
Is there an HOA involved?
I'm about to. But no, seriously,
Do you have an HOA?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you the board?
I'm seriously about to buy a camera and put it out front of my house and see who's letting their little dog,
yeah.
Because I'm about to pick it up and throw it at their house.
Leaving it. Just leaving it right there, huh?
Yeah.
Think the dog's small, no big deal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right where I put my trash and recycling bins.
Yeah.
And then not only am I dealing with dog crap, they're flicking their cigarette butts.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like, who do you think you are?
I like coming home if I'm getting out of the car and, someone's walking the dog and the dog stops in my grass. I'll purposely take more time just to make sure, like, okay, what are we doing here? Okay. If your dog decides to do something, you're going to honor it and everything. By the way, when I was hiking in Utah, what would this have been? Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I couldn't believe how many, there's a ton of people out. It's a gorgeous day, right? 3 miles into the trail, nowhere near with the plastic bag, picking up after dog.
That's how it should be.
Nice.
That's how it should be.
If there was ever a place, hey, it's nature. No. People cleaning up. Nice. Go to the HOA. Have your voice heard.
I don't know.
Run for office. I'll vote for you. I don't live in the neighborhood, but yeah.
I don't know why people think it's okay to leave their dog. And
because they're slobs.
So I do have a neighbor, very old lady, who's got one of those little dogs.
Yeah.
But I've seen her picking up after the dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's her. Because there are a few little dogs in my neighborhood. Don't know who it is. I want to find out. We're going to have some words.
Put a sign outside. Put the camera up. And the sign should say, you don't pick it up, we're bringing it back. Meaning we're going to find out where you live and just throw it back on your lawn.
Damn straight.
Okay.
What's wrong with people?
I had an okay weekend. I was, working, which I love doing, so it was all good. Got a rain out Friday. Did a baseball game, basketball game Saturday, baseball yesterday. And I went grocery shopping after the game.
Okay.
There's a big Walmart out by UCF, which, remember, to me, don't go shopping at like 4:30 on a Sunday afternoon. Why? Because the shelves are basically empty because every college student. And so I got a list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very aggressive shopper.
Like
my wife sends a list and I rewrite the list, not because she's wrong. Like I write it in aisle order because I like to know. And I know what's in every aisle. And I'm going down one of the early aisles and someone's like, oh, Mark, what are you doing here? Maybe you are. I'm buying groceries. What do you think? Food just shows up at my house. I'm like, I'm food shopping. Oh, wow. Yeah. You eat, huh? Yeah. What are you doing here? buying groceries.
Do you ever go
just
shop
like you?
Do you ever go shopping without a list?
Sure.
Are you the kind of guy that's gonna walk up and down every aisle, or you kind of have in your head, all right, this is what I need, in, out, done?
Well, usually the Sunday shopping list is a true list.
Mm-hmm.
If there's just days I know I got to go pick up 2, 3, 4 things, I'll pick up 2, 3, 4 things. But I will, especially if it's Thursday at Publix, the new stuff has come out.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind get some extra steps in.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Grocery shopping, just like you. You know, never fails.
I love those softball questions. Like, what do you want me to say here?
I had like the person was shocked, like, wow, Mark's buys groceries. Yes. The food doesn't just show up in the house.
Mark's just like me.
I love food shopping, by the way. Not that my wife can't food shop, but it's like, no, like my wife does 50 times more than I do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But grocery shopping, it's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I get nervous sometimes. Like I'm out of town and I'll look up just because I'm anal about checking the budget. Not that my wife can't buy what she wants. It's like, spent $80 Publix. I just had Publix 2 days ago. What'd you get? It's like, well, I got this. I'm like, $80. That's why I like to do the food shopping. But it's all good. All right, we're going to do a little bit deeper dive. The Magic fall to the Pistons yesterday. And if you were looking to say, okay, where do you stack up? Well, the last 2 games maybe told you a little bit about the Magic, and you get the same frustration from players. We'll get to that. Orlando City blows a 2-0 lead against Inter Miami, and just one of those matches. If you're Orlando City, the vibe's great. The stadium's packed. You get 2 goals. You know the game's not over. And then, I don't know, any Orlando City fan, when Miami scored early second half and it's 2-1, you knew what was coming. You knew Messi's going to do something, and then they win 4-2. We'll get to that. We got some other basketball stuff to get to as well. Don't forget and catch this show live on the stream right now, the 3 of you that may be interested. Go to 96.9 The Game FM, 96.9 FM, 740 AM. The iHeart app, listen to the show live. You can also access the podcast through that. If you want to watch the show live and see Chris's haircut and what's behind him.
And clean face.
Like Chris's backpack, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube, put in 96.9 The Game, click on the station's icon and the live option. You can watch the stream there or access through Twitter to go to 96.9 Game On, and you can access the show there as well. Here's everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great.
Mark, there was one joke I wanted to do, but I can't bring myself to do it. I can't do it. So I'm going to tell you another one.
Why can't you? Is it like inappropriate or
No,
what?
no. It's one of those fads that the kids are doing today.
Oh,
I just can't bring myself to do it.
okay.
I want to do it. I'm going to hate myself for it. I don't know if I'm going to laugh at it, though. What do you call a 7 with the flu?
I don't know, Chris. What do you call a 7 with the flu?
I hate myself for this. 6-7. I sold out. I hate myself.
Yeah, bad choice. Absolutely flamed out on that one. I mean, I know what the 6-7 thing is, but yeah.
I hate myself for this.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
So last night, Magic get the Pistons, and coming off of the loss to the Rockets, blowing a big lead as they did, you're kind of wondering in the next game of how you stack up against one of the NBA's better teams. They lost last night to Detroit after leading by 7 at the break. The Pistons win by 14. They outscored the Magic 56-35 in the second half. A second half which saw Orlando shoot 31%. And for the game, shot 22% in the game from the, 23% in the second half of the game, 28%. But they were 5 of 23 in the second half from the three-point line. And Detroit wins 106 to 102. Frustrating because, again, second half, third quarter, and it happens often for this team, it just all of a sudden begins to fall apart. And Detroit elevates its defense, elevates the pressure. The Pistons are known to be one of the most physical, aggressive teams defensively in the NBA. And I said to Kelly earlier onto the bridge, that used to be a perception of the Magic team. Well, the Magic still have decent defensive numbers, not as good as Detroit. And the Pistons, and it's been a change in culture as well as talent. The last couple of years, it's made Detroit become one of the better teams of the NBA. But on the road, they were the more physical team last night. 19 Orlando turnovers, including 9 by Paolo. 9. It is hard in the NBA to turn the ball over 9 times. It is really hard. And even though Paolo's got the ball in his hands often, it still is hard to make 9 turnovers. And he had 9. Points in the paint last night. Detroit outscores Orlando 66-32. The Pistons get 26 points off of 19 Orlando turnovers. Inside the Magic locker room with some thoughts last night, here's Paolo about the turnovers.
Just being more organized, being able to communicate with each other, what we're trying to do. You know, teams a lot of times adjust, at halftime, and I think that's why we've struggled a lot in the second half, just because, we don't really adjust to their adjustments. So that's when we need to see how they're playing us, and we just need to clearly communicate to each other, what it is that we need to do, particularly offensively, to, fight those runs and, continue to play good basketball.
People look at, and I say this, I'm always a little bit protective of either player or coach in that media session, even though there's amount of minutes you got to wait after a game. It's just you're going to get some raw emotion. You get it when a team wins and everybody's happy, and you're going to get it the opposite way when somebody loses. People look at body language for Paolo. Again, they lost. He knows it was not a great night when you make 9 turnovers in the basketball game. And some people are screaming, well, take a look at the amount of shots, only 10 field goal attempts. He did take 16 free throws, okay? At least have an understanding about the free throw count. But he wasn't great last night. 9 turnovers, and some of those came out to easy baskets for Houston. Now, he's talking about adjustments there. That's also been a big thing for the Magic and for fans to criticize. Why does it seem like third quarters go so bad for the Magic? And last night's third quarter is 31-18. Why? And turnovers did lead to easy baskets and defensive stops, and then the Magic begin to kind of press a little bit, and you start chucking threes, and all of a sudden it begins to get away from you. Jamal Mosley, the Magic head coach, again last night on the turnovers and how it impacts not just the Magic in that game, but just for the season.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at the film and a lot of it. I think tonight you have to credit Detroit with so much of it because of how they play. There's a reason why they lead the league in points off in top 5 and points off turnovers, deflections, and steals. So they're getting their hand on the basketball at all times. When we get downhill, we have to know guys are reaching and swiping. The moment you turn your back, you're going to have 3 guys ready to take the basketball from you. We've got to create pockets and open space for guys to be able to have outlets. Then we just got to be tighter with the basketball.
This league, and I say this often about even in the NFL and in the NBA, you don't have to overcomplicate things. Okay. I mean, you can kind of simplify it. If you want to do a whole thing about, usage and you want to take the advanced metrics and this guy in this situation with this guy on the floor, you could do that. You go down any black hole you want. And sometimes you're just searching for data to back up the point that you believe. And it's easy to find. It really is. It's just like the whole thing with Paolo the last, 6 weeks. Well, here's why the Magic are better when he's on the floor. Okay, here's the numbers that shows when he is on the floor, what he's doing well and how it compares to the top players. You can do it all day. But the game doesn't have to be so complicated. It is about making shots and getting stops. It is somewhat simple. The NBA right now, at every level of basketball, it's about making shots and getting stops. And if you can't shoot consistently, if you can't make shots, then it's really hard to win. Because then you've got to be really creative on offense if you rely on the 2-point shot, because the 3-point shot you're not good at, which means you got to get more stops along the way. And that's been an issue for the Magic the last several years. And last night, they didn't shoot the ball well, and then throw in what Detroit was doing to them with the turnovers, and it becomes a formula that's really almost impossible for the Magic to win. They're still not a good offensive basketball team. And in the years, not just the 2-game sample size from Thursday and yesterday, is despite changing some players, they're still among the bottom third of the NBA in 3-point shooting, and it hasn't changed. Desmond Bane has shot the ball better after a horrific start. Last night, he took 3 threes, and I wish the Magic do more things to get him open to shoot threes. Part of that was Paolo had 9 turnovers, and he said, well, maybe I need to take more shots instead of looking at my team. Well, part of that also is you can't drive into massive traffic in a lane that you're not going to get many calls, even though he took 16 free throws last night. But all the things that some fans scream about second half adjustments, it's valid because they've had problems in the third quarter. The defensive intensity of Detroit used to be a perception for Orlando. That seems that it's changed also in the last year. Jalen Suggs for 2 basketball games has been bad. I'm a pro Suggs guy, but he's been bad the last 2 games. Anthony Black, welcome to the next guy that doesn't play because he's got a quad bruise. So he doesn't play in last night's game. But it's easy to be frustrated. Quickly, 10 o'clock, ORWY, Jim Orlando, WJR, HD2, Cocoa Beach. It's easy to be frustrated in just the one game last night because in the first half, Orlando's got some energy. The ball's moving, guys up and down the court, and they lead by 7. And then you look at the second half and you go, so what happened here? Did Detroit go in the locker room and J.B. Bickerstaff is able to look at his assistants and okay, tweak this, tweak that. And Orlando in the locker room says, hey, stick with what's working. And then the third quarter starts and the Pistons all of a sudden turn up the defensive intensity, are taking turnovers and turning them into quick baskets. And you're like, okay, so that doesn't work. What next? And it just seemed like last night it was, I don't know. Because you saw that wave mid-third quarter, all of a sudden it's like everything's going the way Detroit needs it to go. And the Magic looked disheveled on offense. All of a sudden, guys don't move, and we're playing one-on-one, and Detroit looks like one of the best teams of the NBA. And if you're going to use these 2 games as a measuring stick, well, where do you stand? You don't stand with these 2 teams. And again, it's on everybody. The supposed franchise player can't turn the ball over 9 times in a game. You can't. You just can't do that. You can live with a night that somebody, hey, turned it over 4, 5 times. Okay, obvious couple of really boneheaded play. Not 9. Suggs has to be better. If he's not 100%, even defensively, I think Jalen doesn't look 100%. And 2 years ago, Jalen Suggs was thought to be in a very early stage of his career, arguably the best on-ball defender from a guard in the NBA. Jonathan Isaac, the numbers, even though the minutes played wasn't up there, the numbers that when he played, he was statistically the best defensive player in the NBA. Well, Isaac is a shell of whatever it was supposed to be and can't give the Magic consistent minutes or effort. Suggs, again, I don't know if he's healthy, but not the same player. And that bench doesn't give you much. Doesn't give you much. Blackout, De Silva came in. He had some shots. That was nice. But other than that, they're not getting much. Wendell Carter Jr., I scratch my head sometimes. Because there's periods that you look and go, are you disinterested? Like, do you want to be out here? Played over 30 minutes last night, had 4 points, and at times just looked like I'm just kind of going through the motions. So I get the fan frustration when the parts don't look like it works. And the coach tells you, hey, you compliment the other team. That gets old. I understand that. Losing does that to you. The star player seems frustrated. The body language doesn't seem there. And is he frustrated with his coach? Yeah. I'm sure he is. And I'm sure his coach is frustrated with him in a game that he makes 9 turnovers. You just got to be better at. So if the goal was to see where you stack up with some of the better teams the last 2 games, that was on me, then that's what you have. 14-point loss, 10 of 36 from 3. Second half where the team scored 35 points and got outplayed by a better basketball team, which the Pistons are right now. And today when you wake up, the Magic sit tied with Miami for 7th place. Game and a half back of Philadelphia sits in 6th. 3.5 games back of Toronto. 5.5 back of Cleveland. 59 games gives you 23 left. 5.5 is a lot to make up. So if the goal is to try to get top 4, I'm not quite sure that's possible. Now, the goal now is to get to the play-in. And the schedule, after 2 good teams in Houston and Detroit, the schedule now gives you a couple of games that you just need to win. You got to beat Washington and Dallas. I mean, you have to. You just got to beat Washington and Dallas, and you go to Minnesota and Milwaukee. So games 3 and 4, the homestand, then 2 on the road, and then back home for 2. You got to win the next 2 games. Washington tomorrow and Dallas on Thursday. The other event last night in Orlando saw a packed house. Orlando City and Inter Miami. Messi played. And Orlando City gets 2 early goals. And the place is rocking. 2 matches, 2 great crowds. I'm going back and forth watching Magic and also Orlando City. And Orlando City has a great first half. Attacking, possessed the ball, I thought, really well, creating opportunities. Miami scores early second half, and the entire vibe changes. The most dangerous leads 2 goals, and it scores 2-1. And now you just kind of felt like it's out there. It's out there. And that guy who wears number 10 is just out there, and then he scores. It's 2-2. And what Orlando City fan, after it became 2-2, did not think that Miami's going to score? Maybe it happened later than you thought. But then Miami scores late. Why? Because how many times does that happen if you're an Orlando City fan? Right? In the 80-something minute or 90-something minute, either the goal that leads to a draw, or in this case, the goal that led to a Miami win, and then Messi adds it again, and it's 4-2. Great atmosphere, great turnout, great vibe, and 2 home matches with 2 great crowds, and Orlando City sits 0-2 in a second half that's totally different, where Miami then shows you why they're defending Cup champions, possession, great passing, opportunities. Although Orlando created late opportunities when it was still 2-2, but Miami wins 4-2. And Orlando drops 2 home matches to start the season. And Messi's Messi. He's just, even at this age, you have to account for him. He still will amaze you. And even the little things, doesn't have to score goals, which he did last night, but he still just draws attention that you have to account for. And listen, I'm sorry Orlando City lost, because I thought 2-0, they're set for a great win. But there's something still that I could watch that guy play, and you're like, that's what greatness is, man. That's what greatness is. Greatness is not only do you perform, and help your team win. Greatness is you make the other team have to pay so much attention to you that it makes it easier for your teammates. And that's what he does, even at this age. He still is at such an elite level. And then in this league, he is far and away still the best offensive player in the game. And he knows how to use his body and when to attack, when to save energy. And he's Messi. That's why he's the best to ever do it. And 2 matches that Orlando City drops at home. All right. Little football stuff coming up in about 25 minutes. A little bit more basketball. I think in college, I'm telling you, man, what Florida's doing right now is they're beating the daylights out of everybody with a coach that doesn't care what other people think right now. And then UCF with a controversial call for their loss at home. All that coming up on the Beat of Sports. Bit of Sports, Marc Daniels on this Monday. Glad you're with us. You can join us on our YouTube stream or access the stream via Twitter. You want to watch the program, when you can go back and just like our podcast, you can watch anytime you want. That's convenient for you. With a little show within the show coming up in a bit. Chris shaved, so he wants you to go check out his pretty face after the awful joke he did today.
It was terrible. I apologize for it.
Hopefully he got ripped by people. Really bad.
I deserve it. I deserve it.
Try to provide a standard, then Vasquez just comes in and like
I'm
weak.
I got nothing.
Weak.
I got no rebuttal.
Throwing a weak fastball that gets hit out of the ballpark is what that was.
It was terrible.
You should be embarrassed.
I'm very embarrassed.
Yeah, good.
I'm very embarrassed. I'm disgusted with myself.
Do you have before I get into what I want to talk about, is there a movie that you'll never not watch if it's on? And I don't mean sit down, watch the whole thing, just like, oh, it's on. I'm going to click it on until I need to go do something or switch to something else.
I don't think it'll ever be on TV. But if it's on in the back, like I love Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. What?
Great.
What?
I'm thinking of like a guy movie that's got action and Chris brings
the
up
original Fast and
that
Furious
movie.
I love that movie.
What?
Eternal Sunshine of a
Yeah,
Spotless Mind.
but
Okay, fine. Fast and Furious. The first Fast and Furious. Love that movie too. Or 8 Mile. That better? Is that better?
No, yeah. I think those are better. Like my wife will never understand, and it's fine, never understand why anytime The Godfather or Godfather 2's on, and I come across the channel and it's a scene that I love, I'll watch. It's just like, how many times can you watch that? It doesn't matter.
It never gets old.
It never gets old. And I'm always finding new things like stuff in the background or whatever. And yesterday morning, I got done working out and I'm clicking on, oh, it's Godfather. And, oh, this is the scene that, Michael's going to shoot the cop. I got to watch the scene. Like, how many times have you seen it? It doesn't matter. And I don't know, maybe women don't do that. Like my wife does it, but do some of them watch The Notebook all the time?
God.
I don't know
idea.
if women do that. Probably not. More
no
about
idea.
guys watching like action movies or something like that. Just quiet, it's on. Yeah. I'm sure it's a guy thing more.
Probably.
But this got a lot of attention that went viral over the weekend. Florida's playing Arkansas. Game day was there. Florida's playing as good as anybody in the country. They're up by 23 early in the second half. And this happened during the game.
That's his fourth. He's going to the bench. Malik Ewan is just teed up Todd Golden. They teed them both up. We are told both coaches got teed up.
There's a little bit of a back and forth, which I didn't see live because I had the UCF game, but there's a little bit of back and forth with Todd Golden and John Calipari. And it's the classic case, Chris, of both coaches have an assistant coach like, don't attack them. Like, yeah, like they're going to go like a couple of hockey goons at center court, which would be kind of cool. But it's like, all right. And you can tell Cal's like upset. He's looking down and Golden's like looking back. And afterwards, Calipari goes, hey, he outcoached me and everything and all that stuff. But I could see, and this is not about the off the court stuff that Golden has dealt with, okay? But here's why Florida fans love Todd Golden. One, they won the national championship last year, okay? And the other thing is, he has developed, because of the success at Florida and the attention, okay, a little bit of, he's just cold-blooded, meaning they're going to beat the daylights out of you, and he's going to love it. And when you're on the other end of that blank whooping, okay, you don't like it. And he comes across as the arrogant guy that wants to step on your throat and continue to beat you up. And Florida's in a 9-game win streak. And if you told me today you can only name 3 teams that can win the national championship. I don't know that I could leave Florida off that list, and that list to me includes a lot of teams that you have to pare down. Like I think Arizona, in my opinion, Arizona and Duke are the 2 best teams in the country. But right now, if I take Florida's sample size the last month plus, I think they're as good as anybody. They've won 9 games in a row, and they're blowing people out. During this 9-game win streak, okay, they beat South Carolina by 47, Alabama by 23, Texas A&M by 19, Georgia by 20, had the close game beating Kentucky by 9, beat South Carolina by 14, Ole Miss by 19, Texas by 23, and they beat Arkansas by 34. I mean, they're just annihilating people. And I asked Mark Wise, who was on with us on Friday, sitting because Michael Dunn was traveling, had Mark Wise on, the college basketball analyst, and I said, on the date, which was what, the 27th, I guess is Friday, is Florida a better team this year than last year? And he said no because of Walter Clayton, which I can understand because he had that veteran guy, but without knowing they won the championship, if I said on March 2nd, is it the 2nd or 3rd today? 2nd. I think what we know, I think Florida's team this year's playing better than the team that did go on to win the national championship last year. And I could see how Golden can rub some people the wrong way. Now, if you're a Gator fan, you love it, right? Young, brash, going to beat you up. We don't care. We're the national champions. And it, even though older, but Dan Hurley at UConn was the same thing. Although I think he's calmed down a little bit. But the moment he won the first, I mean, the arrogant level was turned up a notch. And UConn's really good this year, too. But Florida is beating the daylights out of people right now. And at first it was, do these pieces fit? And now, man, the pieces fit and then some. They got Mississippi State at home. They'll blow out Mississippi State, and they end at Kentucky. And every game for Kentucky is important right now. My guess is they're on the right side of the bubble at the moment. But Florida is a major threat to win back-to-back championships, and they're doing it with a young coach that has that brash attitude that every fan base wants. You want that guy that just, you believe represents you so much. And to me, when I went back and watched and reading what some people said about the incident, it's Cal didn't like that they're getting annihilated, and Golden's so into it. Just like, keep it going, more, score more, beat them by more, and everything. And I thought Cal handled the postgame. I watched his postgame press conference. He was, he outcoached me. They're a better team right now. Did all the of that stuff there. Now, Saturday, the UCF basketball game. They play Baylor. Every game's important for UCF right now. They're 20-8. They're 9-7 in the Big 12. They got 2 games left. They got Oklahoma State tomorrow at home, then play at West Virginia on Friday before the Big 12 tournament next week. I've said this. UCF fans have asked me about it. Is there a number you think they got to get? Yeah, I think 10 conference wins, and UCF needs 1 more, would likely put you on the right side of the bubble. But, I don't think if you're a UCF fan, you could just assume the committee puts a 10-8 Big 12 team in the tournament because of lack of basketball brand value. It's just the reality. The last time UCF was in the tournament is 2019, and it's kind of like the college football committee. I don't know how they treat brands. And you get into that room, and you can have all the data in front of you, and at some point, a couple of people in the committee go, no, you know what, man? I just saw Ohio State beat Purdue, and brand value. The only way you can prevent that is, keep winning. Keep winning. So they're playing a Baylor team that is 500 coming in, underachieved in the Big 12, 4-11. They got talent. They got a guy that's projected to be a first-round pick who didn't play like it on Saturday night. I mean, didn't play like it at all. Tuda Yesufu was a non-factor for Baylor. But Baylor did to UCF what UCF did to BYU in the first half. They're hitting everything. They're hitting shots, and UCF's defense is terrible. They're down 14 at the break. They were down 15 of the game, down 14, and then cut it to 2 quickly out of the blocks of the second half. It's a 60-58 game, and they've got the ball. Baylor gets a stop, and they stretch the lead back to 11, multiple occasions. And you got just over 4 to go in the game. Well, UCF chips away. They come down. Devin Cambridge, a forward for them, has to make 2 free throws. He does to tie the game at 86. And Baylor's got the basketball. UCF has a foul to give. And Riley Kugel, who missed the last couple of games, came back, played a great game offensively for UCF, put up 26. And before I continue with that, Chris, that depends. Do you think right now, at this moment, I'm representing UCF, or am I just a guy with a microphone on a talk show?
I think you're just a guy right now.
Listen, there's a ref, and Twitter posted everything about it. Gary Maxwell's a veteran referee. He's done major conference basketball for quite some time. I don't believe in the 3 years that UCF has been in the Big 12, they've won a game that he's ref. Pretty sure. That doesn't mean he's got it in for UCF. Sometimes numbers just don't go your way. But you know where I sit, right by the bench, right? One thing I've learned about officials, some handle the criticism, forget fans, but coaching criticism, some handle it like I don't hear anything. And they're not teeing guys up quickly or anything. I mean, some veteran guys. Kip Kissinger, recognized one of the best officials in college basketball. Majority of his games are in the Big 12. And Kip, I think, is great at letting emotions not affect him and giving coaches leeway, tremendous leeway. Other are not. And there's an earlier moment in the game, towards the end of the first half, where shot clock's off 29.9 seconds ago. Shot clock at 30's off. Okay? Baylor brings the ball up into possession that they can hold for the final shot. They don't cross half court until there's 17 and change left. What is that supposed to be then? The 10-second violation. They didn't call it. And the UCF bench is screaming. And a couple seats down from me is one of UCF's graduate assistants who monitors the basically the video of the game, and it's where Johnny Dawkins is going to turn and go, should I challenge something? Okay. And he had mentioned to Johnny quite loud about, it took him over 12 seconds. Well, this particular ref literally leans down right in front of me and yells at our GA, hey, you're not reffing this game. And I'm like, mellow out, man. Just come on. Anyway, that official was involved in the call at the end of the game. Now, if you're a Baylor fan, this is what you saw. You saw Obi Agman, their player, get the ball, go up for a shot, and he's clearly fouled, and it's the right call, and he should be shooting 3 free throws. That's what you see if you're a Baylor fan. Why? Because you're a Baylor fan. You're supposed to see that. And by the way, if I was a Baylor fan, that's exactly how I would view the call. Exactly. If you're a UCF fan, then you're racing or hoping somebody else puts the clip up with super slow-mo to see that Riley Kugel is standing flat-footed with his hands up as the shooter goes up. And then as the shooter is releasing, there's a foot that goes forward. Well, a kickout's supposed to be called on the offensive player. And is there contact as the shooter releases and comes down? A little, but I'm not quite sure it impacted the shot. So for UCF fan, you're thinking, it's a horrible call to end the game. You're thinking, man, 86-86. Listen, if he gets a shot off and they hit it, they win. But to end the game like that, you're like, wait a minute, you're calling that? And who was the official? That guy. And I've seen all the clips as some people go, look, he's raising his hand before he even takes a shot to call a foul. So every game when I get to see who's officiating the game, sometimes like, oh, good. Sometimes you're like, great. Yeah. And it was a frustrating night. Now, UCF defensively was horrible in the first half. You got to be better. You got to do some things that you're not down 14-15, down 11 with 4 to go. They did a great job to get back in the game, and you lose. And Baylor can be a problem for teams, but they're 5-11 in the conference, so it's a tough loss for UCF. It's a really important game for them against Oklahoma State tomorrow. Oklahoma State has lost their starting center, who, by the way, Chris, in a game that they're up 20, goes up for a dunk and tears his ACL. Yeah. Oklahoma State beat UCF earlier this year. That kid Parsifalo played in the game. Now he's hurt, but they got to win. In between tomorrow, they play Friday West Virginia in a first round, or whenever they play their first game of the Big 12 tournament. To me, I think 2 of those 3 would make you feel pretty good. They could win both this week. They could lose both this week. The bubble, you just don't know. Again, Joe Lunardi doesn't sit on the committee. Ken Pomeroy doesn't sit on the committee. There may be metrics that are used by the committee, but you won't know until you see your name up there, and that's a spot there. It makes every game, every possession exciting, thrilling, or frustrating. But as soon as I saw who was out there on the high side with a potential call, you're like, oh, okay. Tough one.
Refs should not have that impact on anybody. You should not be able to look at the sheet and see who's officiating the game, and you're like, oh, this guy.
Oh, Chris, you'd be shocked at the data that's available. No. Like, UCF knows who's refereeing the game tomorrow, okay? And there's data on everything, like what your record is at home on the road, fouls called. I mean, it's unbelievable. And, I mean, in college baseball, just like in Major League Baseball, the minute a game ends, you can go see how many pitches the umpire missed, how far out of the zone, and so forth. So some schools are really good at it about, okay, so-and-so's calling the game. Can be more physical. We can get away with stuff. We can do, that data is accessible to everybody now. Yeah. That guy. All right. Speaking of football, a little bit of college NFL that we want to get to. Plus the 11 o'clock hour. You've waited this long. You may as well keep waiting. I'll explain that story and more coming up.
Hey, it's Johnny Magic from Johnny's house.
Look, we've got you covered with the hits and what's going on in the city beautiful.
And Mark, he's got everything you need to know in the sports world, with maybe a touch of sarcasm.
This is the Beat of Sports with Marc Daniels.
Thanks to my good friend Johnny Magic there. Huh? All right. Back in the Beat of Sports this on Monday. Marc Daniels, Chris Vasquez over there. If you're spending some time with us, glad you're with us. You could catch the video stream at YouTube. Go to the 96.9 The Game Orlando YouTube page. Click on the logo, then the live button, and watch the show live. I think we'll do a show within the show next break.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right. So for those watching, you'll get access to us during our radio commercial break. Can I do something real quick? Can you imagine what it was like when a false report gets out that Mickey Andrews, the longtime defensive coordinator at Florida State, died and it wasn't accurate? Did you see that?
No.
I got a text of a friend yesterday who says, "Oh my God, did you see this?" I'm like, wow. And then I went online later and I saw false report of Mickey Andrews. Mickey Andrews is alive at 84. And the Tallahassee Democrat has a story that people started calling and he answered the phone. "I'm here. I'm alive at 84. And there was a post on Facebook that said he had passed away late Saturday. A Facebook group called Seminole Stronghold posted a false death announcement that he had tragically passed away en route to hospice care. And people started calling, and Mickey Andrews like, "I'm alive." Yeah. Yeah. Right. Corey Fuller, he saw it and went online and posted, like, "I just got the phone with Coach Andrews. He's alive and well." Others said, "I saw him at church today." Man, who clicks send on that?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, why? Like, what makes you think that you can just, oh yeah, by the way, Mickey Andrews passed away, and just like, are you saying it to get
I don't know.
engagement, or?
Well, first off, it's sick if that's the plan, and two, isn't that like the most sensitive thing that we're going to triple check before we think we're going to put something out there?
You would think, but what is it? You have to be first in today's world. Doesn't matter if it's right. You just send it and apologize for it later.
Wow. But Mickey Andrews is alive at the age of 84.
I miss him roaming the Florida State sidelines.
You miss that face, that figure, that guy that's angry, even if FSU's up 50, that's just yelling at people.
Those were
And
the days.
you bring it back to what you think are glory days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But good to report that about Mickey Andrews. I want to do one other quick college football note, then I want to go to a couple things in the NBA. I mean, in the NFL, rather. I believe still scheduled for later this week, despite the military efforts in the Middle East right now, that the president has invited this blue ribbon panel to come talk about the future of college sports. Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, is among those expected to attend. Greg Sankey gave an interview on Thursday at the Texas-Georgia women's basketball game, and he was asked about some of the things he'd like to see, and one of the things that Sankey said he'd like to get back to is the one-time transfer rule, and he thinks that would help. Okay, the problem with that is a federal court has already ruled that it's illegal, so you'd have to figure out a way to override that court ruling.
Go to another court?
I don't, people far smarter than me, but there is a way. Here's another one of these things that could help some of this, but will never, ever, ever get approved because no one wants to do it. You know what that is? Okay. And I'm not the first to recommend this, but Chris, do you know the last story that we've done that you've heard me talk about, that so-and-so is no longer eligible because they're academically ineligible? Not like Charles Bediaco, the guy at Alabama. Okay. I mean, academically eligible. When's the last time you heard anything about that? When's the last time you heard about graduation rates or academics progress reports, APR, right? You're laughing, right? right?
Yes.
If you want to really attack the constant transfer, if you think that's a problem, all you need to do is enforce academic eligibility. Set academic progress rules that used to be in place. Meaning, in order for you to transfer, Chris, you have to send your transcript. You have to send your record, okay?
So we're just going to give them the BS classes then?
No. It has to show that you were making progress towards a degree, and it used to be you had to have a certain number of credits. I mean, the schedule of 30 credits a year to get to 120 is typically what it is to get a degree. And it used to be you had to show academic progress, and I think it used to be like 20 or 24 credits, assuming that a fifth year you'd get to the 120. Okay, now I'm just telling you, people send transcripts over that compliance people can't even read because it's just like, what do you want me to do with this? And the answer is just get them in. And then you're like, okay. And there are some schools that still care about it. The overwhelming majority of schools, it just doesn't matter. If you applied academic eligibility, you would solve a lot of the. Now, if you're someone that goes to class and you're passing, then I guess that's fine. But all you need to do is to just say, hey, what's the transcript look like? And if you're not making academic progress, you can't transfer. A school can't take you. But no one's going to do that. No one.
Mark, we know that, especially if you're an elite athlete, if you're the star quarterback, the star receiver, all you got to do is fudge it, take BS classes. It doesn't matter. Like academics.
Well, I'm just telling you that it isn't one or two schools. The entire system just basically said, I don't care anymore. And some of the stories that I heard and that I know about, I know they're true. And not everybody. I mean, there's some schools that kind of care about what your academics are, but that's the biggest thing. This, in order for a player to transfer, and I'm going to throw the work on somebody else, whether it's the NCAA or third party, okay, you're responsible on the transcript to show academic progress. It meets the following standards. If you don't, then you can't transfer. Who's going to vote for that in the SEC? Who? No one. No one's going to vote for it. None. And also, by the way, require a minimum number of credits so that the football guy that's going to come play somewhere for 1 year registers for classes and never goes. Why? Well, what are you going to do? Flunk him out? He's got 1 year left, which, by the way, happens all the time. All the time. Do you know how many 1 year players that are in their final year of eligibility register, never go to class? Well, aren't they required? Depends on the school. Some schools require attendance records. Some schools require, are you actually trying? Most schools, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just register him for 4 classes. He's not going to go. That's the most common 1 year guy. So while Sankey says one thing is to get back to the one-time transfer, good luck in court with that. But nothing stops all parties going, you know what? We're still going to have the academic side of college sports, so you have to show academic progress. Who's going to vote for that in this group? Nobody.
Okay, so a more realistic approach is, can we just, and I'm for them getting, academics, but we know it's not going to happen. Can't there be a petition, or if you get enough votes or something that kind of overturns the federal ruling that disallows the limit of 1 transfer?
No, because someone's going to argue in court. Now, as I've often said, the NCAA is a voluntary membership program. If the parties involved all said, listen, you can transfer all you want. We're not blocking that. We're just going to require you to have academic progress. And here's the standards for it. But again, I respect Greg Sankey for his role and his power. But he knows he can't win the one-time transfer rule because it's already lost in court. It sounds good to say it. The parties can all say we want to do this, but he knows he's going to lose in court. But the one thing you can do, I mean, it's going to be hard to go to court and go, hey, they're forcing my client to go to class. Well, it's kind of part of the college thing, but that's not going to change. I want to pivot quickly to the National Football League. The Combine wrapped up this weekend. We've got the legal tampering period about to begin in the NFL, which college football is like, what do you mean about to begin? We've been doing that thing all the time. There's some people, because there were a number of coaches and GMs that didn't go to Indianapolis, that wonder about the future of the combine. That there seems to be this trend of guys not coming to work out or not participating in all events, and people worry about the future of the combine. I disagree with anybody that says the combine's going anywhere for a number of years. It's too big of an event for the NFL. The coverage is priceless to the league. I don't know how the league can force people to go, but it's just like the draft. There's no way they're getting rid of it. It's free marketing for a week for them. It's a convention for the National Football League. It draws the media to Indianapolis. It draws every NFL team in some form. It gives players a chance to promote their brand. And while the individual workout really matters, I think the league's going to make sure that the combine continues. They're not getting rid of it.
So what if enough coaches, GMs, scouts, whoever typically goes to the combine, what if enough of them from enough teams just say,
I don't know what's enough.
More than half.
I don't think we're anywhere close to. Every team was represented. It's just some didn't send a head coach and a GM. But their scouting department was there. Their player personnel people were there because that's a chance to, one, do X number of interviews. There's no way the league's going to let a major event for them, as I've said for many, many years. The National Football League is a 12-month sport. We play games from August to now. It's going to be the second and third week of February. But the league is in business to generate attention 12 months a year. No one does it like they do, of the combine, of the draft workouts, of the draft, of free agency, of schedule releases. No one does it like the National Football League, and they're not going to give away what's a great week for them.
I don't think you'd be missing a lot if the combine went away.
You may not, but the league likes the attention. It's a week of coverage for them.
We're already talking about the NFL 24/7.
But you're talking about it more when the combine happens. And I don't think the league's going to give that up.
So we're talking about hand sizes and 40 times and 3-cone drills. That means
Chris,
a lot
you may
to the
not
NFL.
care about that, but I'm just telling you that there's enough data that the NFL can tell you that it spikes in coverage, not just about that stuff, but even the generic talk that you say, well, we talk about it anyway. No, because you get NFL people in a town. There's more rumors. There's more stories that develop out of that. Even like the argument about Adam Schefter posting the 40 time of Carnell Tate, and was that Drew Rosenhaus pushing it through Adam Schefter. I just think the league's not going to get rid of that stuff. It's too valuable for them, and it gets attention. Can they force head coaches to go? I guess they can. I don't think they want to make that much of a story, but every team was still represented, and there's still enough people working out. I mean, most of the quarterbacks not named Fernando Mendoza still went through everything. And even, Mendoza did too. And I just don't think the league's going to get rid of that. You may not like it because it's the Underwear Olympics, but it elevates attention to the sport.
What about, can we get
it's why the NBA's not getting rid of the All-Star.
Well, then what about pro days? Like, what benefit does pro days have for the NFL?
Really?
Yeah.
Does the NFL Network cover like the top 50 projected players pro days live? Does ESPN not send their people there?
For what? For guys essentially having it's a glorified practice.
But what? Chris, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
Chris, do they send their crew there?
They do.
Do they make it a story even though you don't think it is?
Sure.
That's not because they got money to just burn. It's because they believe the National Football League coverage is going to be lapped up by everybody. That's why they cover these things. I don't really care how a quarterback completion percentage in a design workout is, but there's interest. Otherwise, they wouldn't be covering this stuff. And the NFL's not getting rid of that. And nor do players not want that. It's good for the, quote, brand. And when Fernando Mendoza has a private workout or has his workout, everyone's going to be there. And Kurt Signetti will take advantage of it and do the interview. And whatever place they go, that's great promotion for the National Football League, whether you're interested or not. It's relevant for the league's brand. That's why it's a 12-month sport.
The NFL doesn't need it.
Sure they do.
Why?
It works. Otherwise, why would they keep doing it? Of course it works for them.
It's a glorified practice in tights. No opposition.
I'm not arguing that, but they still do it because it's still about the National Football League. There's no question about it. Listen, I think the NBA is jealous of that you don't have, when is A.J. DeBonsta going to do his workout? They would love to have something like that because it's just more attention. You may not be interested, but it still is, let's cover the NFL. Let's bring our crew out there. Let's break down how he threw. They're not doing it just to blow money in a budget by sending an entire crew down there. It works. It's part of the branding 12 months a year for the National Football League. It absolutely works. When illegal tampering begins, is that not a day that people will begin to pay attention to? Followed by free agency.
Of course. That stuff matters.
Just like this stuff matters. It does. I don't understand how you can't see that.
It's a glorified practice.
Chris, is a schedule release a big deal?
Again, that affects the
It's a schedule release. You can put it out on Twitter. Every NFL team makes a big deal about it. Why? Because it's part of the branding for the NFL. Every team makes a big deal about it. Could the NFL on a Monday just go, here's a schedule for the next season? Why do they make a big deal about it? Because it's part of their branding. I'm not arguing that the workout's stupid, but it's part of their branding, and they hype it up, and they're the best at it. They're the absolute best at it. I mean, the NBA does their little draft camp. They would kill to get 1/10 of the coverage that the NFL does. The NFL's mastered it. That's why the combine's not going anywhere. 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next. We're going to do a little show within the show on the YouTube stream. So if you're there, stick around. If you're not, go to the YouTube stream now, and we'll see you there. More the 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next.
All right, we live.
We are? We're live?
Yep.
I'm going to force you to watch every program.
No, you're not.
We're going to put on the television.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
So you're forced to watch what's happening on Pro Day.
Like, do we really need to see Fernando Mendoza probably without a shirt or in a tank top or something Indiana related, throwing to his receivers, his tight ends, no opposition, no pass rush, no anything. Let's just see how he throws. Congratulations. He's probably going to get hit 95 out of 100 throws.
Right.
What do we gain from that? What do we gain from it?
You're trying to get football stuff out of it. And I'm telling you, it's just about branding for the NFL, for the player, for that college program. I mean, here, I'll give an example. And I mean, this year, I'm going to guess UCF is a pro day, but in years past, if you had somebody that was projected to be drafted fairly high, okay, you would be amazed what those TV networks ask for when they come to shoot your pro day, because they're going to tell you that it's valuable programming for them. You may not care about it, but their wish list of, are you streaming it? Are you shooting it live? Can we get the sit interview? Can we do this? They lap it up. And the audience, for the most part, will lap it up as well.
I will never understand it.
Well, that's okay. Because the NFL already has you. And they're the masters at marketing the sport 12 months a year. They're the absolute masters at marketing the sport.
That I don't deny. Like, I anticipate the schedule release because it gives me time to plan which game I'm going to go to, which more than likely, if it's a late game, Cowboys-Packers at Lambeau Field. Going to that game.
Can I mention something else to you? Yesterday,
Yes.
I was telling Kelly I went food shopping after the UCF baseball game, and someone was shocked to see me in a Walmart. So what are you doing here? Like buying groceries, just like you're buying groceries. Somebody else asked if I was buying you marshmallows. Chris hates marshmallows.
They're disgusting.
And I said I wasn't buying you marshmallows, but they asked, By the way, you know what's out? Pop-Tarts. There's a Girl Scout cookie Thin Mint Pop-Tart, which may not be new. I don't know. That may be out there. But it's a Girl Scout. I mean, the Thin Mints, right? Thin Mint Pop-Tart.
I might have to jump all over that.
Wow.
That sounds good.
Wow.
Are you not a fan?
No. I couldn't buy it because I would eat the box, and that's the mistake. So you don't buy it. But I got to tell you what, when I saw that thing, I was like, whoa.
By the way, the bag of Sour Patch Kids that you got me?
Yeah.
Already gone. It was gone within the day.
What did I buy? Like watermelon?
Yeah. Gone within the day.
But a Thin Mint Pop-Tart?
Yeah. I got it's a strawberry frosted something cake with sprinkles. Pop-Tart, really good. I also have the cinnamon brown sugar.
Yeah, but isn't that like 70 different flavors?
Probably. But there's some that I won't buy, like marshmallow or the s'more
Of
flavor.
course he won't buy that. You don't like s'mores Pop-Tarts?
No.
Oh, my God.
I don't like s'mores. Why would I eat a s'more Pop-Tart?
Because it's delicious.
It's not.
If you're among the two people watching this.
Hey, give him credit. We're at 17.
Who doesn't like a s'mores Pop-Tart? And has anybody tried the Thin Mint Pop-Tart? I mean, yeah, the Thin Mint Pop-Tart.
I might have to get that.
It's really good.
It sounds delicious.
I hear. Or did I have one? Maybe a couple years ago. S'mores Pop-Tart you're against?
Nothing s'mores. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of chocolate. You know that. Like my Butterfinger and Reese's are pretty much the only chocolate I'll eat.
And the big debate over even what's in the Reese's anymore. With that family losing their mind. Yeah. Not even real chocolate anymore involved in that. Wow.
Ruining a great candy.
Who doesn't like a s'mores Pop-Tart? That's like un-American. Man. Learn something every day. All right, let's go do the news next.
All right.
Let's really do the news.
Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. The Beat of Sports, Marc Daniels, Chris Vasquez is over there. Last night in NBA basketball, the Magic took on the Detroit Pistons, and after leading 57-50 at the half, the Magic see a much different second half. Detroit turns up their defense, and they outscore the Magic 56-35 second half and win 106-92. Kate Cunningham had 29 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists in the basketball game for the Pistons. For the Magic, they struggled shooting the three ball. They were 10 for 36 at 28%, 24 points for Paolo, 19 for Tristan Da Silva, who got the start last night. Anthony Black did not play because of a right quad bruise for the Magic. Just a dismal third quarter, didn't get better in the fourth. The Magic, after a 3-1 West Coast trip out of the All-Star break, drop a couple of games against two good teams in Houston and Detroit, 2 home games that the Magic need to win, those being against Washington and Dallas. Elsewhere in the NBA yesterday, the Knicks snapped the Spurs 11-game win streak at Madison Square Garden, beating the Spurs 114-89. Mikal Bridges went for 25 in the game. Victor Wembanyama had 25 points, 13 rebounds, but the Knicks win it with the big fourth quarter, outscoring the Spurs 34-20. Interesting, last night during the Lakers game, the Lakers beat the Kings 128-104. Luka Doncic had 28 points, 9 assists. There's a clip that's gone viral of him coming out of the game and J.J. Redick trying to grab his arm to talk to him, and Luka just kind of takes his arm away and sits down, and then J.J. goes to talk to him, and it seems like Luka's not paying attention. What does it mean, Chris?
I think they're ready for this year to be over, honestly. Probably. They want LeBron gone.
I'm going to disagree as to what you're reading into that. The Lakers, by the way, are 6th in the West, which would have them out of the play-in right now. I think Luka and J.J. Redick do not get along at all. And I think Luka knows that whenever LeBron's done playing for the Lakers, that may be in 20-something games, that Luka is long for L.A. and J.J. Redick will not be if he doesn't want him to be the coach. And my guess is that J.J. Redick is probably believing some of the stuff that Nico Harrison allegedly said about Luka, which Draymond Green went on his podcast and said maybe some of that stuff is true. And I don't think Luka likes J.J. Redick because he will push him to be better, be in better shape, to play defense. And I think Luka's like, you better take what I'm giving you, which is the leading scorer of the NBA, because I'm not going anywhere and I'm not going to change. Yeah. That's just a guess on my part. But I think I'm right. We mentioned a little bit of the football news, but get set for the legal tampering period coming to the National Football League. And I see that ESPN's Adam Schefter saying the Chiefs have told right tackle Jawan Taylor he's going to be released. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think he saves them $20 million on the cap.
Yep.
So it sounds like maybe the Chiefs are trying to make some moves because they restructured Mahomes' deal. They cut Jawan Taylor. I think there was someone else that they cut as well. Might be trying to make some moves here this season.
Orlando City led Inter Miami 2-0 last night in downtown Orlando before Miami then scored early second half. Messi equalizer, tied as a 2. Miami takes the lead 3-2 with about 6 minutes left, and then Messi adds one more, and they win 4-2. And Orlando City's dropped 2 matches to start the season at home with great crowds, great environment, and Inter Miami showed why they are the defending MLS Cup champions as they win by a 4-2 margin over Orlando City.
Can I give you an NFL trade that happened per Tom Pelissero 7 minutes ago?
Yeah, I better care.
It involves the Detroit Lions and Houston Texans. David Montgomery.
Oh, really?
Yep, David Montgomery is out of Detroit, heading to Houston.
For what?
Tom Pelissero's tweet did not say, but I will do some more digging. But as of now, David Montgomery is now a Houston Texan. Here we go. Texans are sending Drew Scruggs, a 4th and a 7th round pick.
Montgomery's deal up? Got to be entering the final year. I mean, if he's a free agent, he wouldn't be traded, but I'm guessing Detroit at some point had to make a decision.
Well, I know he wanted out because his usage has gone down the last couple of years.
Obviously, with Gibbs, he wants more carries. So it's not that's a pretty good deal for Houston.
So that probably also means the end of Joe Mixon in Houston.
Yeah.
And yeah, David Montgomery had to sign a 2-year contract.
He's got 1 year left.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I like that for Houston, though.
Solid.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you care about that trade? Was that?
No, it's pretty good.
Okay.
If you're just for future 7th or a player that no one's heard of, then that would have been a good.
Well, you didn't like my defensive tackle swaps last week with Tavondre Sweat and Jermaine Johnson.
I mean, a little bit of buzz, It's like, hey, 2 teams traded guards. They threw in a holder. It's got a little sizzle to it, got a little bite to it. All right, we come back. This has been a bone with me for a while, and I'm going to ask you to allow me to rant for a few minutes because I'm not shocked by it. It's comical to me because I do care. I'll explain when the Beat of Sports continues next.
Never fear. Marc Daniels is here. Welcome back to the Beat of Sports.
By the way, the video stream about 20 minutes ago, the show within the show, if you're watching on the stream, Chris and I popped over there during the commercial break and telling Chris I saw the Thin Mint Pop-Tart yesterday, which Chris admits sounds good.
It does.
And then said he would never eat a s'mores Pop-Tart.
No, they're gross.
Oh.
S'mores are gross. Marshmallows are gross.
Who doesn't like a s'mores Pop-Tart? Ooh, properly toasted. You know, you break it. Oh, wow. Woo!
Stop it.
Really good.
No, it's not.
Can I play something for you?
Yes.
All right, listen closely. I want to play something. It's a little. This has been a little thorn in my side for years, but I want to play something for you. Here we go. Let's listen.
Prime downtown Orlando real estate about to be grabbed by the Magic.
And the team has some big plans for the property. Stephanie Culp is live downtown. And Stephanie, this is quite a purchase.
Yeah, that's right, Martha. The land we're talking about is actually behind me here. You can see most of it is currently taken up by a parking garage. It's 4.9 acres of land. It sits directly across the street from the Amway Center on Church Street between Huey and Division. Now, the Magic have been studying the purchase of this land since 2011, and it seems they're finally ready to pull the trigger. The Magic would be buying it from the city of Orlando, but there's no agreement just yet on the purchase price. The Magic says it would like to build an entertainment complex that would include dining, lodging, and entertainment options. It would be a $100 million investment in the city. Now, the Magic has also been talking about buying the Orlando Police Department building, but of course that would mean the police department would have to move. And on top of all of this, the Orlando City Soccer Club has been talking about building a soccer stadium just a few blocks west of here. Certainly, if it all happens, it will definitely change the looks of the Paramore area here in downtown Orlando. The Magic and the city say they will talk more about their plans for the future at a meeting on April 22nd.
Anybody confused by that? Because you heard, wait a minute, what do you mean the Amway Center? It's called the Kia Center, right? The police station building, well, isn't there a building down off of OBT, right? The soccer stadium, isn't there a soccer stadium? That's correct. You see, that report is more than a dozen years old, okay? A dozen years old. That was a Wesh 2 news, which, by the way, I don't think any of the anchors or the reporter is either A, at the station or working in the market anymore. It's more than a dozen years ago. And I bring this up because what's the latest news, okay? Because anybody that drives by on I-4, you see, okay, there's the Kia Center, and then there's what? There's that piece of land. And, of course, what happened on Friday, the latest is there's going to be a little bit more delay to the West Court project, which now they're hoping to break ground towards the end of 26 to be able to open some form of it in 2028. Right. So this has gone on for more than a decade. For more than a decade. And Chris, my little rant has been this. As someone that lives near downtown Orlando, I don't live in that particular area, but lives near downtown Orlando, I just believe that we as a community, our political people, our developers, we have failed in regards to revitalizing downtown Orlando. And there's no reason why a city this size should go through what we've gone through downtown. And anybody that goes to a Magic game or goes to a concert, okay, you know the answer to the question. You know it, okay? Before or after the event, where are you going? Because it ain't around there. You're not. Well, that's why you want to build this complex. Okay. And year 12 is going to become year 13. And after I saw the story of, well, we're going to push back a little bit. And then some of the individuals involved talk about, well, we're just trying to find the right financial moment. And with the bond market, we're trying to do this. And I'm not going to complicate things, okay? It's great word salad to just say, we're not there yet. And I'm pretty sure the 2030 NBA All-Star Game is going to end up in Orlando. I'm pretty sure of that. We've had Jason Siegel on to talk about it, that at the Sports Commission. I saw the Sentinel had a piece with Alex Martins talking about it. And I feel pretty confident in 2030 All-Star game. Who thinks that project's going to be done in time for the All-Star game? Come on. Who? Come on. Nobody. And I'm not telling you that there haven't been good intentions, but that piece of land is sat for more than a decade right now. And if you go back to renderings and plans and we roll it out and everything, that was supposed to be done. Done by now. Now maybe break ground at the end of 26. This is early March. I'd be shocked if the holiday season comes around and anybody's pulling dirt. Who's to blame? I don't know. They're all to blame. Everybody is, because the plan to build sounds great. And who doesn't love renderings, right? You show me a baseball stadium or football stadium renderings, or you show me a fancy entertainment district, everybody loves the renderings. Everybody's smiling, right? All the restaurants and bars are busy. Everyone's living, live, work, play right there. It looks great. One of the biggest reasons why that project isn't going anywhere, it isn't just because of what the Magic are not doing, because it is a partnership with the developers, and you got to spend the money. It's not just on them, though. Again, we have failed in downtown Orlando. And I'm getting off the hardcore sports. Tell me about Paolo's turnovers last night. I get it, but we have failed because there's no reason why our downtown shouldn't be thriving. And I knew it. I didn't need to see the story that came out on Friday. I've heard from enough people like, yeah, nothing's happening. And we'll see how long these developers stay involved in this project. But why don't the Magic want to move forward? Because it's a true commitment of dollars. Well, we got to make sure the bond market and everything. I'm not doing bond market breakdown here, but there's no reason for better than a decade, because there have been some prime opportunities in the bond market in recent years to do what you want to do. And I'm someone that wants downtown to thrive. I want people to live, work, play in a thriving downtown where you can go to a complex like that and enjoy it, and other residents enjoy it, but that's not going to fix downtown. And partly that's why it's not being built right now, because it's like, well, do we really believe that it's going to lead to the traffic that we're putting on those economic reports, which anybody can write any way that you want? And it's the hottest thing for teams to do. And a lot of people make a big deal about what the Braves did when they left downtown Atlanta. They built this thing, and now it's become a whole big entertainment district, and people live, work, and play there, and it's awesome. And the Braves play 81 home games, and it's great. And teams love that idea. And in some cities, it's awesome. Many of you travel to, pro cities and see, man, look what's by the arena downtown here. It looks great. I want us to have that. I desperately want us to have that. And that piece of land just sits there. Just sits there. I mean, that clip I played from 2012 still applies. Hey, going to build this, going to build that. It's going to bring in all these jobs and everything. It's going to be great and so forth. Get a sweetheart land deal, which they did. Get a bunch of developers to come in from one project, and then we'll do this, we'll do that, and then nothing happens. And here we sit. And that project will not fix all of downtown. It takes a massive 10-year plan. It's a massive 10-year plan. I mean, look, I love living in Orlando. I've lived here since 1989. I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully, not going anywhere. But every time I'll go someplace, I'm like, man, this is great. It's a thriving downtown. I'm jealous because I wish we had something like that. So here we are all these years later, and then there it was on Friday. Well, going to be delayed a little bit. Well, hopefully it'll be at the end of 26, which it used to be the end of 17. It was the end of 19. It was the end of 20. Well, COVID, so push it back to be 22, definitely by 23. I think in 25, and now in 26, it's like maybe the end of 26. You know what has a better chance of being occupied? Our eyesore up I-4 in Audubon Springs. That's got a better chance of being occupied.
No.
Yeah. Better chance of that.
Wow.
Better chance of that. Oh, no. It's definitely going to happen. No, it's not. No, it's not. And there's no deadline forced upon them. I mean, sit on the land all you want. Put that on your books, and it just sits there. And everybody saw it. This isn't just the Magic. Everybody's to blame. That's a failure of the Magic. It's a failure of the developers. It's a failure of the city that we're now almost a decade and a half. Forget a decade and a half into this is what we're going to build and nothing. I mean, at least whether you like the fact that the money's being spent or not, at least, for example, Camping World Stadium, they're getting their upgrade, work to get involved in the community, do stuff, and help with roads and stores and schools and all sorts of things, along with renovating the stadium. Okay. Orlando City, not this owner, the previous owner, built it. Built that stadium. And thriving in sorts like the last 2 home games to start the season. That happened. So I might be the only person that cares about that, but every time I see a story, I just laugh because I'm aware of all the other people that threw all these grandiose ideas of what we're going to do with downtown, and we're going to fix Church Street, and we're going to make it a thriving area, and all sorts of stuff. I mean, if I hear the housing crisis, we're a bit removed of that. In case you hadn't checked out, it's only about 17, 18 years since that. Because I want our downtown to thrive. Now, I get it. We're a spread out metropolitan area. We choose to live outside the area. It doesn't mean that you can't make your downtown better. And somebody's going to need a 10-year plan. I mean, that goes from Lake Eola all the way down to the soccer stadium. I mean, it needs a facelift in a major, major way. It does. Because most people choose what? To not go down. Town to eat or go out and so forth. Go to a Magic game, go to a concert, then what do? Get in your car and you go home. Well, that's why we're going to build this entertainment complex. Yeah. The complex isn't being built because nothing else is being done, and no one wants to commit 9 figures for an over-budgeted project when you're not quite sure it would work. And I'm not quite sure it works. All right, back more of the Beat of Sports next.
Hey, what's up? This is Pat Lynch.
And I'm Taco Bob. And you're not rocking out with WJRR.
Lock it in here with Marc Daniels and the beat of sports.
I think everybody agrees if the Magic season ends with, let's say, a play-in round loss, or even if they get into the first round and it's a non-competitive series, Chris, is it fair to say that the team has to reevaluate where they're at? And I made the comment before about Luka. If the Lakers had to choose in a post-LeBron world, what's the choice?
Well, between JJ and Luka?
Yep.
I mean, you haven't really won anything with JJ, but you also haven't really won anything with Luka. You probably stick with Luka.
The commitment to the star player always wins out. In Orlando, there's a unique perspective among fans during this bumpy season about Paolo, the body language, the relationship with Jamal Mosley, the answers each gives. And when you're not winning, not that the Magic are 10 games under 500, but when you're not winning at the level that people thought you were winning, there's the speculation. And I do think if the team underperforms this year, there has to be an evaluation of everybody, whether you're going to decide to break up the young core piece. And I don't believe the Magic are trading Paolo. I think they might make a decision on a couple other people about what they see the future being. Does Jalen Suggs have value that you might move him if you think that Anthony Black is the better choice, or you got to move somebody to get something? But the team may also have to make a choice about its coach and what should be the franchise star player. And the criticism of Paolo has been strong. There's a faction of the Magic fan base that is a minority but can be quite vocal on Twitter. And then you find, as I often say, you go find the data points to kind of back it up. And last night, you could easily find that by 9 turnovers that Paolo had last night. Okay? And you go, see? Look what happens. Well, we often see what we want to see, right? I mean, isn't that what divides us politically, right? If you want to think something's bad, then you'll find people to tell you it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. If you're on the other side going, it's not bad, it's good. Why? Because these people told me it's good, so it's got to be good, and that's where we get our division. But sometimes you go digging for numbers. Sam Vicente is kind of the draft expert over the Athletic, one of the more respected guys when it comes to the draft, and he's also one of the hardcore analytic guys when it comes to basketball. Okay? So can I play a little clip of his recent podcast that Sam has, his Game Theory podcast, which I enjoy listening to. It educates me a lot. And he has been among those that has criticized Paolo at times this season. But I'll give him credit because Sam also recognizes, listen, sometimes the data is what it is. And here's a little clip from his recent podcast.
Paolo, when he is on the court in the last 15 games, they win those minutes by 2.7 points per 100 possessions. When he is off of the court, they lose those minutes by 5.9 points per 100 possessions. So we're actually getting back to the point now where, and look, this is without Franz Wagner, and I think that you can make the case that like when Franz is there might be some diminishing returns to having Paolo be like the primary playmaker versus Franz and whatever you want to say, right? But for people that just like throw out the on-off numbers, well, like, honestly, when I watched Paolo early in the season, I thought he like didn't look like he was in great basketball shape. Like I thought he looked a little bit heavy and looked like he wasn't moving at the same level that he is right now. And then he has the injury, he misses some time. Maybe he like used that time to like really get his conditioning right or whatever, but he's actually been quite good here for a little while. And I actually thought, even though against the Rockets, I think he went 6 for 16 in that game and had 19 points, and it wasn't overly efficient looking, at least from a shooting perspective. I actually thought that the process was right in that game for him. I think he had 14 potential assists in that game. He ended up with 9 assists in that game versus 0 turnovers as well. Like, got into the teeth of the defense, made the right play. It is what it is. But I think that he's been better about mitigating the terrible mid-range jumpers over the course of this little run here. But I think the process is getting better for Paolo.
There's some clips in that Sam's people put out, so that's why I jumped a little bit. But just to go back to what I've talked about for several weeks, you could go stat hunting all day. I mean, you could do it and find the stuff. You go, no, here's why it's not good. But you could also go find numbers that can back up. And last night, again, he had 9 turnovers. You can't turn the ball over 9 times. But there are numbers that will show you, hey, this is how he's played over the course of this number of games, and they're better with him on the court. And I do think Sam brings up a good point that all Magic fans that want to do a deep dive into this often bring up about, how can the Magic be better when Franz and Paolo are on the court, and who needs to be the facilitator and all that. And both have to continue to get better. I mean, the health thing is it's the biggest thing for the Magic, is to just be able to get these guys to be healthy, which is no longer something you can predict that they're going to be healthy. But I do think that at the end of the season, if the team doesn't find a rhythm and gets itself, and I'm always a journey guy, if they got himself into the second round or even in the first round, and, let's say the Magic somehow find a way to get to be a 6 seed, and they end up playing the Knicks, and it's a tight 7-game series, and you lose the final seconds, does that lead to a bunch of changes in the offseason? It depends on how this year finishes. But if they flame out, there's going to be a discussion of the Magic when it comes to their coach. Jamal Mosley knows that, and every fan would know that. And time after 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 time, the team usually chooses who? They choose the player. They choose the player. And despite the critics of Paolo's game out there, I'm telling you, the organization believes that he is a special talent. They know that he's got to be in the best shape, stay healthy, and be better at criticism, coaching, responsibility, all part of maturing. But they're not moving him. They're not going to move him. And if they did, there'd be takers, maybe not 29 other teams, but there'd be takers out there. But my point here is, if it comes down to a choice, you already know what that answer is. Now, if they make a decision to change coaches, there's no guarantee that the next coach is going to, hey, I'll let you just do whatever you want to do, and it's all kind of fun. And for those Magic fans that want a coaching change now, go hire Mike Malone, that would not exactly be a soft voice of going, hey, what do you want to do? That's kind of comfortable. But if it is a choice, in the NBA, the player wins. The player ends up being the one that the team keeps. And by the way, what coach doesn't know that? Some coaches will earn that over a period of time, right? I mean, your elite coaches know, I'm not going anywhere. But that's not the case here. It's not the case here. And in the next 23 regular season games, everybody's under a microscope. And like I played the clip earlier, Powell in the postgame, and you can watch it. And visually, you see the body language when asked about adjustments and things like. He's frustrated. Do he and Jamal Mosley get along? No one gets along when you don't win. Nobody. I'm sure he's frustrated. I'm sure he's frustrated not just with Jamal Mosley. I'm sure he's frustrated with, we can't get healthy. I don't know when he learned that Anthony Black wasn't playing. Was it minutes after he won the DeVos Award the night before for community service? Or was it when he got to the arena like, oh, again, another guy's out? All those things, I'm sure, add up over a period of time. You say, we got to be more mature about that. Yeah, he does. Can't turn the ball over 9 times. No, you can't. You can't. But we can go stat hunting all day to try to find whatever data you want to back it up. But again, 9 turnovers, nothing good about 9 turnovers. Jalen Suggs, like I said earlier today, 2 awful basketball games. It's got to be better. Got to be better. But that's coaching. Sure, it's also on the players. You know, don't force passes sometimes. It's too risky. Don't make a travel that you didn't need to do. Be better at shot selection, all that stuff. Run things to get Desmond Bane open because he's hitting threes at a higher rate. All that stuff, it's on everybody, man. The frustration has mounted because you had an expectation for this season. I'll say this, and this isn't making an excuse at all for the Magic. Chris, the Magic's record today is 31-28. What realistic record after 59 games would a Magic fan have had in mid-October as the season's 2 weeks away from beginning? Let's round it up to 60. If I said in 60 games, what do you envision the Magic record to be? What would the answer have been?
I'd probably say about 35-25.
Good job by Chris doing the math to make it equal 60. 35-25. Okay. If the Magic win their next basketball game, which is a game that they should win. Actually, the next 2 games against Dallas and Washington. These are 2 games that the Magic should win. But let's say that they beat Washington tomorrow night, and they're 32-28. And Chris said 35-25. 35-25, and then for 82 games, I mean, if you have the Magic winning 50, then you got to win 15 of your final games. See, I think 35-25 is a fair number. I think some may have said like 38-22 if you thought they were going to 50 games. But Chris said 35. You're going, okay, well, that's what, 3 to 4 games? Yeah, that's the difference, man, of maybe being a 5th seed versus a 7th or an 8th seed. Doesn't sound like a lot, but at the end, that's how the numbers end up stacking up. I mean, Chris said 35. After tomorrow night, they'd be 3 games off of that number. Is that a lot? No. If you thought they were going to win 50 games, then it'd be a few more wins. But that's the expectation that people had beginning of the season. And health, always a factor with this team. It's just always a factor with the team. One other note that I know people have speculated about. If the season doesn't turn in a up projection or finish strong, who gets to hire the next coach? That's up to the big office to figure out. Because the biggest 3 things you'd have to decide if you're the Magic, if you conclude the season like, hey, this wasn't what we thought, and we got to wonder what we're doing. The first thing ownership has to decide is, okay, are we firing the coach? Is the advice of the people we put in charge to make a change at the coaching position and also break up this core unit? Then the ownership has to also decide who makes that decision. Is it a decision they say, you know what? What about management? Are we comfortable with that, or do we need to change there? And then who hires the next coach? If you're making a change. If the year finishes such that the team ends up at the end of the year and you're like, you know what, they really battled, got this far in this round, dealt with a lot of injuries, then maybe there are no changes. Today, the day after a game like yesterday, you're probably thinking something's got to change. It just has that kind of vibe, but they got 23 games left to play, and then whatever happens in the postseason. We'll put a wrap on the Monday show. Tell you about tomorrow's program next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Can I just play a fun highlight?
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on, but it just sounds fun. So let me play it, okay? This is Japan's team for the World Baseball Classic getting an exhibition in before they come over to begin play and playing one of the teams in the Japanese league. And just, it sounds fun. That was the pitching coach coming in to make a change. No. What was that from?
That was I think it was a soccer clip.
Yeah. The announcer clearly wanting the Japanese national team to tie the game up in a play at the plate. And listen how his voice just changes here. I don't know what he said, but man, it sounds good. It's great. Yeah, it was great. Shohei Ohtani is then in the camera shot applauding the defensive play because it's a great throw by the left fielder to the cutoff man, and cutoff man throws home and they get the out. And the Japanese team did lose to the team from the baseball, from the professional league in Japan. There you go. Coming up on our program tomorrow, Matt Michelle will be by for his weekly Tuesday visit. Jacob Feldman, a Sportico, is going to join us. He did a fascinating story, Chris, on in the crazy world of technology today, why every NFL team still uses a computer program that you can buy for $15 to build a playbook.
Oh,
yeah.
I might have to go buy me that program.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So Jacob will be on the program tomorrow to talk about that, and we got an On the Mark, Off the Mark segment and all that other fun stuff on the Tuesday program. Miss any of today's show, go where you get your favorite podcast and type in the Beat of Sports on Demand. Subscribe and get the show downloaded to listen when it's convenient for you. If you want to watch the video stream of the show, go to our YouTube page at 96 The Game Orlando. Click on the icon and the live button. You can watch the show back when it's convenient for you as well. We appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Have a good day, Chris. We'll see you tomorrow.
You too, Mark.
Chris produced. I'm Marc Daniels. See you tomorrow for the Beat of Sports.